What's up, sports bettors? No NBA tonight, but NHL lines are on the move. There's a lot of games, and I was able to zone in on three sharp player prop picks for tonight. So our plays are going to be on Underdog Fantasy, and we discussed this platform a lot. Again, when I'm making videos, when I'm making content about sharp, profitable sports betting, ideally, giving you plays that are going to make you money in the long run, as well as teaching you, strategies that the pros use, people who make money sports betting, data-driven sports bettors. How are they doing it? I try to just focus on where the value is. So today, the value's on Underdog Fantasy. We've had days where there are more, bets that we have on Thrive Fantasy, which is a competitor to Underdog Fantasy. But today the value's on Underdog, so that's what we're going to be discussing. So when you're playing on Underdog Fantasy, you are always getting minus 122 implied odds in a 3-pick or a 5-pick entry, right? So essentially, this may be confusing to you if you're new to sports betting, you're new to learning the math behind sports betting. So we have some other videos. If you type in Odds Jam Prize Picks, Odds Jam, Underdog Fantasy, you'll see a bunch of videos kind of breaking down how to back out the implied odds on Underdog Fantasy. But essentially, you're getting minus 122 implied juice. So you want to look for value at minus 122. So the first play I found is Roman under 3.5 shots on goal in Predators versus Seattle. So just take a look. We have a 1.95% profit margin. All of the bookmakers have this priced from minus 140 to minus 157, it looks like. So we're getting a lot of value at minus 122 on Underdog, which is exactly what we want, right? As a sharp bettor, we're always looking for value. We're like a savvy investor. You can see right here for this video, I'm just filtering to see Underdog Fantasy. And I'm looking for 3 picks or ideally 5 picks. You can get 3 or 5 pick entries and you're getting minus 122 implied juice. So there are a bunch of strategies for looking for value at, minus 122. What some people are able to do is they're able to use this Odds Jam screen. And again, you can browse odds for really any market you want to look at. And they'll kind of scan the market for big discrepancies between bookmakers. So you can see there's a column for best odds, stuff like that. So as an example, in Canadiens, in the Montreal Canadiens versus Detroit Red Wings game, it looks like the best value you could get on the under for this Moritz Seider guy is going to be on Underdog Fantasy. Under 2.5 is best offered at minus 122 on Underdog. All the sports books have it like minus 135, maybe a tiny bit of value. And then you can see some others. Prize Picks is what's offering the best value. So I like to use this screen to kind of hunt for value because you can see the whole market as a whole, right? So it's very easy to just kind of scan through. But what this EV tool does is it really just takes all these odds, right? There's no BS, there's nothing about sports. It's all data, right? Data runs the financial industry. It runs every industry. It should run your sports betting. It's how the sharps do it. It's how the pros do it, right? Take your gut out of sports betting. I know it sounds weird, but it's not the people who watch sports who make money sports betting. Kind of like it's not the people who watch CNN who make money investing, CNN investment advice, right? It's the people who understand data. And what's so cool about sports betting, right, is all of these bookmakers have different lines. So you can kind of ruthlessly compare sports books and look for value. So we're getting Roman under 3.5 shots on goal at minus 122. Indirectly, it's implied odds, Basically, if we want to go through the math quickly, on Underdog, any 3-pick entry you create, you're betting 1 to win 6. Doesn't matter if you take overs, unders. It doesn't matter what 3 picks you select. Any 3 picks you select, you're going to be getting 1 to win 6. So basically, if you go to a parlay calculator, we can run through the math very briefly. If we go to a parlay calculator, so I'll pull it up once it loads. If we have a 3-leg parlay where each leg is minus 122, the parlay is going to be betting 1 to win 6, right? So because on Underdog Fantasy, any 3 picks we select is just betting 1 to win 6, it's like every bet has the implied odds of minus 122. So if you find 3 plays with value at minus 122, then you have a profitable Underdog Fantasy entry. So this play, Roman under 3.5 shots on goal, looks great at minus 122, right? All of the bookmakers are pricing this minus 140 to minus 160. So of course there's some variations from sportsbooks to sportsbooks. All these sportsbooks want to be unique. They set lines independently, but it's pretty clear that minus 122 is really good value. So this is a play we want to be on, right? And that's how the sharps think about sports betting. Every bookie is an independent data point of where the line should be set. And when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these sports books, and this is just in one state, you can switch to any state. When you have all these sports books telling you the same thing, hey, this bet should be priced minus 140 to minus 160, and you can get it minus 122, that's a no-brainer, right? It doesn't matter if you're playing on Underdog, Prize Picks, whatever. And you can quantify that profit margin, it's 1.95%. So great, we have 1 pick down, but I need 2 more. So the next play I'm going with is an over. So Tage Thompson, Coyotes Sabres, over 3.5 shots on goal, 1.52% profit margin. What you can see here is you can also get this on Prize Picks at minus 119 implied odds and a 5-pick flex. But again, all the bookies, for the most part, here there's a little bit of differences from sportsbooks to sportsbooks, but you can see Pinnacle, one of the sharpest bookmakers in the world, as well as Bet Online, 2 of the sharpest offshore bookmakers. They take the highest volume of bets. They've been around the longest. They're just more sophisticated. They're pricing this at minus 159 and minus 143. So, you kind of look at all the data in the market, and it's like, yeah, this is a play I want to be on. DraftKings minus 155, Bet Online minus 159, Pinnacle minus 143. We'll take it minus 122. That's our second play. Slightly lower profit margin, and usually I just sort odds jam by profit margin. So that's the second pick I'm on. And one thing I would like to note is you can now track, you can automatically sync your bets with odds jam, which is pretty cool. So you can sync your sports books. And the reason this is cool is it'll automatically tell you your profit and loss, how often you're beating the closing line, stuff like that, by just automatically pulling the data from this company called Sharp Sports. So you can see I don't have to do anything. It just automatically gets all my plays from Prize Picks, from WinBet, from the past, grades them as wins or losses. And you can see here we have, Caesars, we have WinBet, all the sports books that'll grade my bets as wins or losses, which is pretty cool. So the final play I ended up going with, after Tage Thompson, here we're on an over, is Barzal under 2.5 shots on goal. You can see really good value, a lot of sportsbooks. Barstool has the under at minus 167, so you can pick this up on Prize Picks and a 5-pick flex or on Underdog. The market as a whole has this heavily juiced, and that's the third pick. So on DraftKings, you'd be betting $250 to win 1.1K on this entry. We're betting $250, right, to win 1.5K. 1.15K, 1.5K. So that's value, right? That's how you beat the VIG, and you're not going to win every single day on Underdog Fantasy. You'll notice here we won this, but Trae Young pushed. I guess he didn't play, so we only won $6,000 as opposed to $12,000. There will be variance. There will be downswings. You can even see in my bet tracker, if we go back to it, there are definitely swings in terms of wins and losses, good weeks and bad weeks. There are down weeks, there are up weeks. But if you have the edge, right, if your plays have an edge, you're following real-time market data to inform your betting decisions. Positive EV just means bets with an edge. They're not guaranteed to win. There's no such thing as a lock in sports betting. Every bet has risk, but it's like if a coin is 52% to land on heads, if you flip it 1,000,000 times, it's showing up on heads more often than tails because the coin is weighted towards heads. So hopefully this video was helpful. There are a few other hockey props you could have gone with if you wanted to go with a 5-pick entry on Underdog, but I just rolled with a 3-pick for today. There's no NBA. 3 player props on Underdog. Let's make money.